Hello everyone and welcome back to The Hidden Hour, your go-to channel for unraveling the world's greatest mysteries. Today we're diving into one of the most perplexing enigmas in modern aviation history, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, the flight that vanished without a trace. Join me as we explore the chilling details and try to piece together what might have happened to this ill-fated plane. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a Boeing 777-200ER, lifted off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 12:41 a.m. local time, destined for Beijing Capital International Airport. With 227 passengers and 12 crew members, totaling 239 individuals from 15 nations, the flight was scheduled to arrive at 6:30 a.m. Less than an hour after takeoff, however, the aircraft vanished from civilian radar, initiating a saga that remains one of aviation's most enduring mysteries. Despite exhaustive multinational searches, cutting-edge technology, and a deluge of theories, the wreckage of MH370 has eluded discovery, leaving investigators, families, and the global public in a state of perplexity. This essay delves into the intricate timeline of the flight, the monumental efforts to locate it, the myriad hypotheses surrounding its fate, the societal and technological repercussions, and the persistent quest for answers, grounding the narrative in precise data and clear analysis to illuminate a tragedy that continues to haunt the world. The aircraft, registered as 9MRO, was a stalwart of modern aviation, powered by two Rolls-Royce Trent 892 engines. By March 2014, it had logged 53,471.6 flight hours across 7,526 cycles, with its last maintenance check, an A-check, completed on February 23, 2014, revealing no anomalies. Equipped with sophisticated systems like the Aircraft Communication Addressing and Reporting System, ACARS, and a transponder, the Boeing 777 was designed for seamless communication with air traffic control, ATC. The crew was highly experienced. Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, aged 53, boasted 18,365 flight hours, while First Officer Fareeq Abdul Hamid, 27, had 2,763 hours and was nearing full certification. The passenger manifest included 153 Chinese nationals, 38 Malaysians, and others from Australia, India, France, and the United States, among them professionals, families, and 2 Iranian men travelling on stolen passports. Flight MH370 commenced uneventfully, climbing to its cruising altitude of 35,000 feet by 1:01 a.m. At 1:07 a.m., ACARS transmitted its final routine update detailing engine performance and fuel status. At 1:19 a.m., as the plane approached the boundary between Malaysian and Vietnamese airspace, Captain Zahari signed off with ATC, saying, "Good night, Malaysian 370. Moments later, the transponder ceased functioning, effectively cloaking the aircraft from civilian secondary radar. Malaysian military primary radar, however, captured the plane executing a sharp left turn, heading west across the Malay Peninsula. It passed over Penang at 1:52 a.m., then flew northwest along the Strait of Malacca, reaching the Andaman Sea before disappearing from radar at 2:22 a.m., approximately 200 nautical miles northwest of Penang. What followed was a series of electronic handshakes between the aircraft's satellite communication system and an Inmarsat satellite orbiting over the Indian Ocean. These 7-hourly pings, recorded between 2:25 a.m. and 8:19 a.m., became the linchpin of the investigation. Inmarsat's analysis, validated by experts, indicated that after losing radar contact, MH370 turned south, flying for roughly 6 hours until it likely exhausted its 49,100 kilograms of fuel. Doppler effect calculations and burst frequency offsets from the handshakes traced the plane's path along the 7th arc, a curved line spanning the southern Indian Ocean, from Java to near Antarctica. The final ping at 8:19 a.m. suggested the aircraft was either in flight or on the ground with engines running. On March 24, 2014, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak announced that MH370 had ended in the southern Indian Ocean, with no survivors based on this data. The disappearance prompted an immediate and unprecedented search operation. Initially, efforts focused on the South China Sea, near the plane's last civilian radar contact at waypoint Igari. By March 9th, 40 ships and 34 aircraft from Malaysia, Vietnam and China combed the area, covering 50,000 square miles. When military radar data confirmed the westward deviation, the search pivoted to the Strait of Malacca and Andaman Sea by March 15th. The Inmarsat findings shifted focus to the southern Indian Ocean, with Australia assuming leadership on March 17th. The surface search, spanning 1.7 million square miles, involved 19 nations, 334 flights and 60 ships, costing $50 million by its conclusion on April 28, 2014. No debris was found. An underwater search commenced in October 2014, targeting a 120,000 square kilometre area, 1,800 kilometres southwest of Perth, Western Australia, where depths reach 6,000 metres. Led by the Australian Transport Safety Bureau, ATSB, with contributions from Malaysia and China, the $150 million effort used multi-beam sonar and autonomous underwater vehicles to map a seabed riddled with ridges and trenches. By January 17, 2017, after scanning 710,000 square kilometres, including a wider 240,000 square kilometre area, the search was suspended, having found no trace of the aircraft. A parallel Malaysian investigation, hampered by the lack of physical evidence, struggled to pinpoint a cause. The first breakthrough came on July 29, 2015, when a 2-metre flaperon washed ashore on Reunion Island, 3,700 kilometres east of the 7th Arc. Confirmed as MH370s by its serial number, the barnacle-encrusted wing component was followed by 26 additional debris pieces between 2015 and 2016, found on the coasts of Tanzania, Mozambique, South Africa, Madagascar and Mauritius. The Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, CSIRO, conducted drift modelling, concluding that ocean currents from the 7th Arc could carry debris to these locations within 12 to 24 months. The flaperon's trailing edge damage suggested a controlled ditching, akin to Captain Chesley Sullenberger's 2009 Hudson River landing, rather than a catastrophic plunge. Yet none of the debris bore burn marks, shrapnel or other clues to the crash's cause. The absence of the main wreckage has spawned countless theories, each grappling with the flight's deliberate deviation and prolonged trajectory. The leading hypothesis centres on pilot involvement, particularly Captain Zahari. In 2016, FBI analysis of Zahari's home flight simulator revealed a deleted file showing a route flown on February 2, 2014, mirroring MH370's path, from Kuala Lumpur to the Strait of Malacca, then south into the Indian Ocean until fuel exhaustion. The ATSB downplayed this as not significant, citing simulator use as routine for pilots. However, former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott claimed in 2020 that Malaysian officials suspected murder-suicide from the outset. A 2018 Malaysian report noted the plane's manual turn and transponder deactivation, suggesting unlawful interference by someone with aviation expertise, but found no evidence of financial woes, mental health issues, or radicalization in Zahari's or Fareeq's lives. A hijacking scenario has also been explored. 2 passengers, Puriya Noor Mohammed Mehrdad, 18, and Delavar Sayed Mohammed Reza, 29, both Iranian, boarded using stolen Austrian and Italian passports, prompting speculation of terrorism. Interpol and Malaysian police concluded they were asylum seekers heading to Europe with no extremist ties. No group has claimed responsibility, and the flight's complex maneuvers, requiring knowledge of waypoints and satellite communications, make a passenger-led takeover improbable. Aviation security expert Philip Baum suggested a stowaway in the electronics bay could have disabled systems, but no evidence of unauthorized access surfaced. Mechanical failure theories include fire, decompression, or electrical faults. A 2011 Egypt Air Boeing 777 cockpit fire caused by an oxygen leak destroyed critical systems, offering a potential parallel. A 1996 TWA Flight 800 explosion, initially attributed to wiring, fueled similar speculation. However, MH370's 6-hour flight, deliberate course changes, and lack of distress signals undermine these ideas. The recovered flaperon showed no fire damage, and ACARS reported normal systems at 1:07 a.m. Hypoxia, where crew and passengers lose consciousness due to cabin depressurization, as in the 1999 Learjet 35 crash, was considered, but the plane's controlled path suggests active piloting. Conspiracy theories abound, though most lack rigor. Some allege Russian operatives hijacked MH370 as a geopolitical act, citing Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370's downing by Russian-backed forces in July 2014. Others propose a missile strike or military cover-up, but the plane's extended flight and debris distribution refute this. A 2014 blog post claiming MH370 was diverted to Diego Garcia, a US military base, gained traction online, yet no evidence supports it. The most outlandish ideas, alien abduction or a black hole, are dismissed outright as the Inmarsat data and debris align with a terrestrial crash. The 2018 Malaysian investigation report, spanning 495 pages, concluded that without the wreckage, the cause remained indeterminate. It criticised ATC delays in Kuala Lumpur and Ho Chi Minh City, noting a 20-minute gap before search protocols were activated. The report ruled out remote takeover, as Boeing 777s lacked such technology in 2014. It confirmed the plane was airworthy and the crew qualified, leaving human intervention as the likely catalyst for the deviation. In 2019, French investigators, probing the 4 French passengers' deaths, accessed Boeing's proprietary data, but their findings remain confidential as of April 2025. The search for MH370 has not ceased. In December 2024, Malaysia contracted Ocean Infinity, a Texas-based marine robotics firm, for a new $70 million search covering 15,000 square kilometers near the Seventh Arc. Launched in February 2025 under a no-find, no-fee agreement, it employs advanced submersibles capable of scanning 6,000-meter depths. In August 2024, Australian geoscientist Vincent Lin proposed the plane lies in a 6,000-metre deep trench at Broken Ridge, based on flaperon damage and simulator data, though his theory awaits validation. Amateur sleuths like the Independent Group have analysed satellite imagery and drift patterns, suggesting refined search zones, but professional efforts take precedence. MH370's impact extends beyond aviation. For families, the uncertainty is torturous. Grace Nathan, whose mother Ann Daisy was aboard, founded Voice 370 to advocate for searches, while Jaquita Gonzalez, widow of crew member Patrick Gomes, has spoken of her unresolved grief. By 2018, Malaysia paid $70 million in compensation to some families, but many reject closure without answers. The tragedy spurred reforms. In 2016, the International Civil Aviation Organization mandated real-time tracking for aircraft over oceans and extended black box Pinger batteries from 30 to 90 days. By 2020, global airlines adopted 15-minute interval satellite tracking. Culturally, MH370 has permeated media and discourse. Documentaries like Netflix's 2023 MH370, The Plane That Disappeared, and books such as Ian Higgins' The Hunt for MH370 dissect the case, often amplifying speculation. Online forums, including Reddit's /MH370, host thousands debating theories, from plausible to fantastical. The mystery challenges our faith in technology, exposing vulnerabilities in a connected world. A 2019 Atlantic piece by William Languisher argued the flight path reflects deliberate intent, not system failure, yet motive remains the missing piece. The human toll is staggering. Among the passengers were 20 Freescale semiconductor employees, a Chinese calligrapher and a stuntman, Ju Kun, each with stories cut short. The crew included newlyweds and parents like stewardess Go Sok Lei, whose daughter was 10. Their absence ripples through communities, with memorials in Kuala Lumpur and Beijing marking annual vigils. The lack of a crash site denies families a focal point for mourning, unlike other disasters, such as the 2009 Air France Flight 447, recovered after 2 years. Technologically, MH370 exposed gaps in aviation safety. The transponder's manual deactivation revealed a security flaw, prompting calls for tamper-proof systems. The reliance on Inmarsat's post-hoc analysis highlighted tracking limitations. In 2014, only 26% of global flights used real-time satellite monitoring, per the International Air Transport Association. The underwater search pushed marine exploration boundaries, mapping 710,000 square kilometers of uncharted seabed, equivalent to twice the size of Germany. Yet, the failure to find the wreck underscores the ocean's vastness, with 70% of Earth's surface unmapped at high resolution. As of April 11, 2025, Ocean Infinity's search progresses, with interim reports expected by mid-year. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has vowed transparency, but skepticism lingers, fueled by Malaysia's early mishandling, such as delaying radar data release and perceived secrecy. Public trust hinges on results. If found, the black boxes recording cockpit audio and flight data could unlock the truth, though their batteries expired in April 2014, complicating recovery. Metallurgical analysis of debris, as with TWA Flight 800, might reveal failure patterns. MH370's legacy is a paradox, a tragedy that unites in shared grief yet divides over answers. It compels us to confront uncertainty, where facts dissolve into speculation. The southern Indian Ocean, vast and merciless, guards its secrets, but human persistence endures. Whether in a trench at Broken Ridge or scattered across the abyss, the plane holds the key to 239 fates. Until it is found, MH370 remains a wound unhealed, a question unanswered, and a reminder that even in our age of mastery, the unknown can still prevail.